Hey there YouTube, AJ here. This video is going to be about fear, conquering it. About a year ago, I built this box with the intention of helping me learn to ollie up onto things and to learn to grind eventually. It's got a grind rail, it's got a ledge rail on this side, and also to do slappies on. And quickly, last year, almost a year exactly, this box hurt me, and it hurt me bad, and pretty much haven't touched the box in a year because of that. Well, let's just look. This is my worst slam of 2021.
That was the hard one.
Oh,
yeah, that hurt.
So yeah, that's still painful to watch. I landed right on the corner. It's two steel corners right here. I landed on the corner right where my spine and my hip meets. It poked a hole in me. It made a pretty good contusion, abrasion, whatever you call it. Bruised me really bad. At the time it actually happened, it was like I got hit with electricity, and just my body just felt like the whole thing got hit by electricity. And I'm not gonna lie, briefly I thought I had paralyzed myself. When it first happened, like for the first few seconds, I thought my legs didn't work. It took me a long time to even think about getting this box out again. Just the thought of jumping on it scared me. But a little over a week ago, I went to Waxhaw Skate Park, where I had learned to drop in earlier this year. And at that time there was one obstacle there that I didn't drop in on. It was too tall and too steep, and it scared me. I'd been dropping in on my little driveway ramp I made many times now, and I've gotten a lot more used to dropping in. But this last trip to Waxhaw, I just thought, I'm going to go up there and take a look.
I don't know, should I attempt that one? It got me the last time. Freaked me out. It's so different. It really is. Yes! Okay, so I at least conquered an obstacle that freaked me out the last time. So that's progress right there.
So yeah, I dropped in on that taller, scarier ramp, and it really wasn't that fearful at the time. And that got me to thinking about this box I built and how I hadn't touched it because I had been afraid to start playing with it again. And so that next week after that Waxhaw trip, I decided to break this thing out and overcome my fears with it. And out of those sessions, I came up with these ideas of tips, tricks for overcoming fear in skateboarding when you're an adult. Because when you're a kid, you don't think about a lot of these things. You just do it. All that said, I'll start into my list. My number one tip about dealing with fear and overcoming fear in skateboarding is to realize, first off, it's natural. Fear is our body's way of telling you, whoa, 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 should I be doing this? So, recognize it's natural and not something to be ashamed of. It's actually a preservation skill. So once you make that realization that this is a natural thing, it's nothing to be embarrassed of, you can start approaching being afraid differently.
Lots of toe drag.
And that brings me to my number 2 tip. Take the word fear, which has kind of a negative connotation in our vocabularies, and rebrand it. Change it to respect. Having a healthy respect of something that may hurt you is not something to be ashamed of. Therefore, it's not fear, it's healthy respect. You can put it in whatever terms you want, that's the term I use, but respect the obstacle or the challenge before you and keep at it. My number 3 tip for overcoming fear in skateboarding as you age is to approach it logically. Approach what you're afraid of logically.
I won't say I've won the war, but I won the battle today. A year ago, this box hurt me bad and scared me. And I barely touched it the entire year after that. Came back, ollied up on it. I dropped off the other side. Slight bit of toe touch when I dropped off the other side. My front foot dipped. Still counting it. I'm gonna try a few more. Landed that one. I did jump off over here. I don't know if your camera caught it or not. I was getting ready to roll out into the grass, so I jumped off trying to avoid going out in the wet grass. But that's 2 in a row lands.
Prepare yourself for it mentally and physically. By that I mean physically, pads. If you look at the video, let's see that video again.
That was the hard one.
If you noticed in that video, I wasn't wearing a helmet. I also wasn't wearing knee pads, elbow pads. I now very rarely get on a skateboard without all my gear on. I wear wrist protectors. These things have saved me so many times. Depending on what I'm doing, I may wear lighter or heavier pads, but I wear light knee pads under my pants, and I wear light elbow pads under my pants when I'm just doing flat ground work. I always wear my wrist protectors. They are invaluable. Always wear my helmet now. And then if I'm doing any kind of skating where I'll be things I might fall on, like the corners of this, or if I go to a skate park and I'm going to be going up transitions and things, I also I have shorts with hip, tailbone, all these little protector pads in the shorts themselves that I wear under my pants as well. So I'm physically prepared to protect my body from falling and injuries. Mentally, I try to prepare myself for the challenge ahead of me, what I need to do, what I need to be careful of, take into account my surroundings, look at the things that could go wrong, and do my best to eliminate them from the scenario. You can't eliminate everything. You can't make something perfectly safe, especially something like skateboarding. You are riding a rickety toy around on 4 wheels on a hard pavement, jumping on hard things, steel, concrete, wood. There is a risk of getting hurt. But mentally look at your situation and prepare yourself for what you need to do. And if you're not up to that challenge that day, don't do it. Listen to your body when it says, I don't think this is a good day today. Because sometimes that voice in the back of your head's right. My 4th tip is to break things down into smaller segments.
I think you can see how getting that first land in really improves your confidence and helps.
As for like my dropping in, start on little ramps, start on just inclines, banks instead of ramps, curved quarter pipe ramps. You could break it down even further, practicing the steps on flat. For the situation with that tall, steep ramp, for me, breaking it down further just involved in going up on top of it and looking at it several times. I just went up, looked. Maybe I didn't even put my board down. I just went up and stood on it. Got myself used to the view from the higher, steeper ramp. And once I got used to just being up there and it make me nervous just to stand there, that took out one of the little chunks of fear. And then start putting your board down. Just get used to that feeling, but break it down, and then eventually it becomes like this last trip where I just went up there, threw my board down, and went. I wasn't even phased. It didn't scare me at all that time. You can do that with anything. I'm currently trying to learn to grind, and I'm breaking it down by, in this video, where I'm learning to overcome my fear of jumping up onto the box. So that's a step, just jumping onto the box, not on the rail. And then I'm breaking it down by standing on my board in front of the rail here and not moving, but just ollieing up onto the rail. My fifth tip for this is kind of obvious and it's easy to say, but it's don't give up. Just because you were afraid to try something one time doesn't mean you can't do it. It doesn't mean you're a failure. It doesn't mean you're a wimp or any other negative word for being afraid. It doesn't matter. Living in general is about not giving up. It's nothing but challenges, and it's very easy to give up on things. And it's really easy to give up on skateboarding. I did in the 70s, I gave up again in the 80s, where I just barely got on boards. But I'm now in my 50s and learning to skate and having a lot of fun. So don't give up. I mean, maybe in the end it is something you don't want to do, but don't let fear determine that for you. So I hope these steps will help you. I hope not only just in skateboarding, it's a way of looking at doing everything in life. And I really hope that I had some kind of words of wisdom to offer you. So keep skating, keep living, don't give up. Later, YouTube.